Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to dive into a topic that might sound technical, but is incredibly powerful once you get the hang of it. Histograms. Now, you might be wondering, why should I care about histograms? If you work in real estate or data analysis, understanding histograms can be a game changer. Let me tell you why. But before I do, please take a second to hit those subscribe and like buttons to join me on this journey. I really appreciate you guys helping the channel out this way, and I hope the channel helps you out too. As a real estate appraiser, my job revolves around understanding market trends and property values. Many of you may have similar needs. Imagine being able to visualize all your data in a simple, easy to read graph. That's exactly what histograms do. They help you see the distribution of property prices, identify patterns, and make more informed decisions. Histograms aren't just for statisticians or data scientists. They're for anyone who wants to unlock insights from their data. Whether you're evaluating property values, living areas, year built, analyzing market trends, or even comparing sales data before and after a market change, histograms provide a clear visual representation that can guide your decisions. So why are histograms so essential? First off, they help you understand market conditions by showing how data is distributed across different ranges. For example, if you're looking at property prices in a specific neighborhood, a histogram can show you whether most properties fall within a certain price range or if there's outliers that might need further investigation. Accurate data visualization is crucial for improving property valuations. A well-crafted histogram can reveal insights that aren't immediately obvious from raw data alone. This means you can provide more accurate appraisals and offer better advice to your clients. Finally, making informed decisions becomes much easier when you use tools like RStudio to create histograms. Yeah, you can do it in Excel, but RStudio is a powerful tool for data analysis. And once you learn how to generate histograms, you wonder how you ever got by without them. So let's break down what a histogram actually is. A histogram is a type of bar or column graph that represents the distribution of numerical data. It's different from other types of graphs because it groups data into bins or intervals, showing how many data points are in each bin. So a histogram has three main components: the bins or the intervals, the frequencies, and the data range. Bins are the intervals in which your data is divided. Frequencies indicate how many data points fall into each bin, and the data range covers the minimum and maximum values within your data set. What makes histograms so useful is their ability to display patterns and trends in your data. By looking at the height of the bars, you can quickly see where most of your data points lie and identify any anomalies or outliers. Alright, let's get practical. How do you create a histogram in RStudio? It's simpler than you might think. First, we'll load one of RStudio's built-in datasets. In this example, we'll use the MT Cars dataset, which contains information about various car models. If you didn't know about the built-in datasets, be sure to check out my short on them. The first thing we want to do is load the dataset. Now, with one of these built-in ones, it's easy. We use the data function and MT Cars. That will load the dataset where we can review it if we need be. If you're using your own data, of course, you'll have to use the data importer to load that into the environment, or some code to load that into the environment. And if you're not sure how to do that, be sure to check out my series of videos on importing data. With the built-in data set, we can run the data function, as I said. And once we've done that, we're ready to create our histogram. We're going to use base R code for this. And it's very simple. For a histogram, the function is hist. We identify which variable we want to use. In this case, we'll do miles per gallon. We'll give it a title, which in base R is called main. We'll name this histogram of miles per gallon. And we'll give a label for the x-axis and a label for the y-axis, miles per gallon and frequency. And we'll color the columns blue. So with just these few lines of code, you've created your first histogram. Now that you've created your histogram, it's time to interpret it. Look at the shape of the bars. Do they form a bell curve? Are there any spikes or dips? These patterns can tell you a lot about your data. For instance, if most cars have similar miles per gallon, you'll see them all clustered in one area, which we kind of do here. Histograms are also great for comparative analysis. Suppose we want to compare those miles per gallon of cars, but we want to divide that up into cars with smaller engines and bigger engines. We can do that, say, with a 200 cubic inch engine size. Now in this data set, that's identified as the DISP variable. And we'll create two histograms side by side to see how those distributions differ. So we're going to subset the data. There's several different ways that we can do this, but we're going to use one of the simplest methods available, and that's using brackets. Now we'll create an under 200 subset from the empty cars, and we're going to use the displacement variable for that. So it'll be empty cars, bracket, empty cars, $DISP less than 200. And we need to add the comma with a space after it and the closing bracket. That's telling us that we're going to filter all of the rows by this one column. And we'll do the same thing for over 200, but this time we'll do greater than or equal to 200. That way we capture all of the vehicles in there in case there's one that's exactly 200. After we've subset the data, we're ready to create our histograms. In this case, we want to show the histograms side by side. So we're going to use a graphical parameter function that will let us place the two histograms side by side. This function is PAR, and then we use the MF row, which I call multifunction row, and we're going to specify we want one row, two columns. We run that function first, and it preps RStudio to display the histograms. Now we can build our histograms. We'll use the same method as before, but instead of using empty cars mile per gallon, we're going to do under 200 mile per gallon and over 200 mile per gallon. And then we'll also change the color so that they differ from each other. One is red, one is green, and then we can specify under or over 200 cubic inches for our main title. Once we run those, you'll see that they appear side by side, and we can compare these two histograms, easily see shifts in miles per gallon by engine size. So let's bring this back to real estate with some real life examples. Imagine you're analyzing property prices in different neighborhoods. A histogram can show you whether prices are clustered around certain values or if there's a wide range of prices in one neighborhood versus the other. Likewise, you could do the same thing for year built or GLA or lot sizes. Or how about a powerful visualization displaying how smaller segment fits within a broader market by overlaying one histogram on another? Another useful application is comparing sales data before and after a market change. For instance, did property sales increase after new infrastructure was built? A histogram can help visualize these changes clearly. Lastly, consider analyzing rental trends over time using histograms. By creating monthly or yearly histograms of rental prices, you can track how the trends evolve and identify any seasonal patterns. All right, folks, let's recap what we've covered today. We've learned that histograms are crucial for visualizing data distribution, which helps in understanding market trends and making informed decisions. We also walked through how to create simple histograms in RStudio using built-in dataset. Remember, the key steps are load your data, use the hist function to create your histogram, and interpret the results shown by the bars. We've only scratched the surface here. When using ggplot2, histograms become even more useful. Now watch for a step-by-step video in the new future that I'll make on building histograms with ggplot2. But for now, check out this short on building a histogram in under 60 seconds. And finally, we looked at practical applications such as visualizing property prices in different neighborhoods, comparing sales data before and after market changes, and analyzing rental trends over time. I hope this video has helped you understand histograms better. They may seem complex at first glance, but trust me, they're incredibly useful tools that can provide valuable insights into your data. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.